The Amazon Relay Load Board is a great place to start. It's also a great resource in kind of testing out the market and seeing what things look like in your area. But just know this, when you get signed up with Amazon, if you're only pulling loads off the load board, you're missing out on about 30 to 50% of what you could be potentially making. Doesn't matter if you're, box truck, if you're 53 foot, power only, all that stuff. I have something in here for all of you, so let's get after it. So everybody's familiar with the load board. I mean, you have the opportunity to book loads as simple as moving a trailer across the street to as involved as moving a trailer from Los Angeles to Miami. You also have the opportunity on there to book blocks. This is where you contract with Amazon for as little as 13 hours at a time, up to weeks at a time, and kind of move freight under their direction. But the one thing I never hear people talk that much about are these spot capacity emails. Now these emails come over, they usually represent like a high priority, very urgent, well-paying load. And I see them for a lot of reasons, but the main two that I see is either a trailer needs to be rescued, either the truck broke down or the driver's out of service, or it's just a load that's been on their load board for a long time that nobody's booked, but it needs to be moved right now. So let's talk about the money involved with these loads. After seeing everything that Amazon's thrown my way over this last year, I would break their loads down into three categories. There are your non-early access loads. These loads, unfortunately, don't pay that well, but these give you the opportunity to raise your grade up and get into that 98% and above and get access to those early access loads. Now, these loads pay better, and you can make quite a bit of money doing these loads. However, these spot capacity email loads, these loads typically pay better than even early access. And the thing I love about them the most is they're not grade dependent. So you could have somebody over here who doesn't have early access but replies to one of these spot capacity emails and gets it and is actually getting paid more to take the load than somebody with early access. And people ask me all the time, can you make $1,000 a day trucking? Can you make $1,000 a day trucking with Amazon? You absolutely can, and sometimes you can do it with just spot capacity. So let's look at a little setup I got just the other night. Now I'm at home, I get this email from Amazon saying, hey, we need a trailer taken from Otay, a loaded trailer going over to National City and then bringing empty back. Now they're offering $333, it was $10 a mile. I respond back and said hey, I'll do it for $400, and they call me. I'm on the phone with them, and while we're talking, I get another email from them saying, hey, we need a trailer taken from Otay, an empty one, all the way up to Ontario. And I said, while I had the person on the phone, I told them, I said, hey, I could do this. My rate's $800. They said, that's fine. How many can you do? And it's how many can I do? How many do you have? And they had a whole bunch of trailers down in Otay that needed to be moved up there. I didn't want to cut it close with the hours of service, so I went ahead and committed to 2 of them. But you figure the 2 trips back and forth, or up to Ontario, bobtailing back, up there with an empty trailer, and then the round trip to National City, I walk out of the night with $2,000, and this is all from spot capacity. None of this came from the load board. And here's a pro tip when it comes to booking these spot capacity loads, everything is negotiable. The price is negotiable, the start time is negotiable too. When I found out the National City trailer was already ready, I said, go ahead and sign that one, go ahead and put that one down for me at 2 o'clock. Go ahead and put the first Ontario down as picking up at 5 o'clock, and put the second Ontario one down as 12 o'clock. The reason I did that is I want to give myself plenty of time. You will be kicking yourself if you agree to a time that you can't make, and that in turn affects your on-time performance, especially when you got to pick the time to begin with. So give yourself ample time on these loads. Another couple tips on these loads. When you get that email, if you want it, reply quickly. To streamline the process, I have the signature in all of my emails. It contains my name, my DOT number, my MC number, and my telephone number. So all I have to do is just go in there and respond with my rate and what my ETA is. Now, 9 times out of 10, they're going to call you. Occasionally, they'll email you back. But for those 9 times out of 10, take down this number. This is the number when they're calling you back to say, hey, we want to go with you. This is the number they're going to call you from. So let's look at some examples here. I got a variety of equipment to choose from. First up, we got a 26-foot box truck order going 198 miles from Stockton to Sparks, Nevada. They're offering $1,275 on this. Next up, we got a 26-foot box truck order, 91 miles going from San Diego to Murrieta. They're offering $500. Next up, San Diego to Campo, $666 for 93 miles. Now keep in mind, all these prices, this is what they're offering, these prices, they will accept a higher rate on this too. Now for you 53-foot guys, here's a trailer required going out of Oxnard to Burbank, 53 miles, $600. Another trailer required going from Oxnard to Temecula, 83 miles for $800. Let's say you don't have a trailer, no worries. Here's one that's broken down. You can plug these coordinates in. Whenever they put coordinates like this, it's usually either somebody's broken down or out of service. Going 44 miles from National City up to Vista. They're offering $550 on this. And last but not least, these are some of my favorites, these shuttle run requests. Now they're offering it for 4.5 hours. They typically will pay $100 an hour for this. Usually when I've done these in the past, they're for 10 hours at a time. So maybe on 4.5 hours, maybe they'll give you more than $450. I don't know. But usually when I've done these in the past, it's 10 hours at $100 an hour for $1,000. Now before you say, hey, can you send me spot capacity requests for my area? Here's the thing about them. You only get them in your service area. Anywhere where you've been and taken loads from. If you drew a line from like Los Angeles to Las Vegas and back to San Diego, that's my service area. How you expand that area is going to a new location, searching, show me loads from this current location, and then booking one of those loads. When you do that, you'll get an email that looks like this from Amazon saying, hey, you booked a load in this area. We appreciate your business and look forward to working with you in the future. So in closing, just leave here knowing that spot capacity does exist. If you're currently working for Amazon and you're not getting these emails, track down and find out where these emails are ending up. Be sure they're not ending up in some junk folder somewhere. And if you do plan on working for Amazon, know the load board is great a lot of the times, but just know that these do exist and you should start receiving these emails within the first 7 to 10 days of when you start working for them in your service area. As always, I hope this video serves you well. Appreciate you for watching. Take care.